remember even when I was in school, when I was at the university, 4-year university, I was dismissed from the university, and I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know how I was going to, where I was going to go from there. I was dismissed from the university, got the letter. I said, Randy, what are you going to do now? It was right after, before getting dismissed, I had just found out how long it was going to take for me to graduate, right? I had went to my guidance counselor, and within my department that I was, studying for, and they had laid it out for me. Said, Randy, this is how long, this is the classes you're gonna have to take. This is what it's gonna take for you to graduate. Once I received that information, boom, dismissed. And I know you're like, well, Randy, why were you dismissed from the university? You just had to have been skipping your class. No, I was not. I didn't skip. I didn't just, not go to class. But there was some class, and every university has this expectation that you have to at least, get a passing grade, B or higher rather. And so there were some classes that I just failed. Yo, grace and peace, grace and peace. Welcome to another episode of the Legacy Inspired Podcast, where I'm your host, I'm your guy, I'm your brother, I'm your cousin, maybe, Randy. Thank you for tuning in on another episode where we talk about everything entrepreneurship. We talk about marketing. We talk about a lot of mindset stuff as well, but most of all, we talk about legacy, hence the name of the podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about the fear of failure. On the last episode, we talked about the fear of the unknown, the fear of uncertainty, and we kind of dived a little deep into that. And these episodes, like I said in the previous episode, are going to be building on each other. And so there's going to be several parts to this fear factor. Fear factor, if you will, is going to be like the host name. And so these are going to just gonna be little small series, just talking about fear, because that is something that a lot of people go through. Fear is just a part of life. Fear is just a part of your everyday living. Okay, and fear is just uh, it's going to be a part of the journey, especially as a new and aspiring entrepreneur. And so this podcast, of course, if you're new to the podcast, new to the podcast, this is for new and aspiring entrepreneurs. And I myself is I'm starting out new, and I'm also an aspiring entrepreneur. I'm working a job. This is for those that are working a 9 to 5 job as well, and it's just trying to figure things out. Just trying to figure things out, and so this podcast is designed to help me document my journey as well, while I'm sharing things that I'm learning and sharing things that I've learned, in hopes that it would be a benefited blessing to you. All right. Without further ado, let's hop in. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about this failure thing, man. Do you fear failure? Do you fear failure? Failure. Many entrepreneurs fear that they will fail, lose money, waste time pursuing an idea that doesn't work. This fear can be especially strong if they have invested a lot of time, a lot of money, or even emotional energy into a venture. And maybe you can relate to that. Maybe you started a venture. Maybe you started to do something entrepreneurial related, and it failed. And I mean, you just you just didn't want to do anything else. after you failed. But I just want to let you know, I know what it's like to fail. I failed at a lot of things in life. I failed business wise. Yes, I failed at that. I've done a lot of ventures, and failed at all of those things. Well, I remember one time, just to be honest, I took a uh, leap of faith, if you will. I remember when I got started in network, I think it was network marketing. And if you're not familiar with network marketing or multi-level marketing, a lot of people shun it, but I actually appreciate the industry. I am a strong advocate for the industry, strong advocate. So a lot of you may think, oh, that was a scam. You was in one of those things, those Ponzi schemes and everything. Hey, listen, there is a such thing as a Ponzi scheme. There is a such thing as a scam. But your job may be a scam too, but you still work it. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm working a job too, and I feel like they scam me every day. Anytime your job tells you to, or the whole makeup of working a job, you work 40 hours a week for 40 years and only to retire for 40% of what you slaved for, what you gave up your blood, sweat, and tears for. You gave up all of your time for. You got to go and ask your boss for permission to go on vacation. And I mean, that I just can't get with that. Although I'm working a job for a purpose. And that is, you saying, Randy, well, you working a job? Yeah, I am. I am. But I have changed my perspective. I changed my perspective on what my job is there for. Instead of me being hired at my job, I hired my job to fund my dream. You see what I did there? Maybe you should adopt the same mindset. Hire your job to fund your dream, to fund your goals, to fund that vision, that very thing that you can't even, it keeps you up at night. If you adopt that mindset, that will change your entire perspective. And I know I just got off a subject, but I just wanted to throw that point in there. I just wanted to throw that little nugget in there. But going back to network marketing, I remember when I got started, I was excited about it, although it was just beyond me because I wasn't familiar with it. But I failed so many times because the makeup of network marketing, and some of you, you may have, you know, been pitched, an opportunity or two, or pitched about some lotion potion from a company, and the whole thing about it is, uh, they believe in bugging your family and friends, uh, doing home parties and hotel meetings and three-way calls and all of that jazz, all of that foolishness. And so I did that multiple times and failed so many times, didn't make any money until later on. Of course, I made, I made a little something, nothing to write home about, nothing to quit my job about, but I made something. But I failed so many times and I wanted to quit. This was back in, I want to say 2007, 2006, 2000, I want to say 2007. And so I did that for over 15 years. I believe I was in the company for a long time. Even when people just, packed their bags and went to other companies and they wanted me to come and join them. And when I refused, they ended up, going elsewhere. And I, I, I wanted to stay in the company until I made money. But before that, I had failed so many times and I was determined to figure this thing out. Why am I telling you this? You're going to fail at something. The very thing that you're pursuing now, you're going to fail. I remember, and I gotta add story to the context here. I remember even when I was in school, when I was at the university, 4-year university, I was dismissed from the university, and I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know how I was going to, where I was going to go from there. I was dismissed from the university, got the letter. I said, Randy, what are you going to do now? It was right after, before getting dismissed, I had just found out how long it was going to take for me to graduate, right? I had went to my guidance counselor, within my department that I was, studying for, and they had laid it out for me. Said, Randy, this is how long, this is the classes you're going to have to take. This is what it's going to take for you to graduate. Once I received that information, boom, dismissed. And I know you're like, well, Randy, why were you dismissed from the university? You just had to have been skipping your class. No, I was not. I didn't skip. I didn't I didn't just, not go to class. But there was some class, and every university has this expectation that you have to at least, you know, get passing, get a passing grade, B or higher rather. And so there were some classes that I just failed. I just failed. They were challenging classes. And this one class that I failed in, it was just that last straw. Boom, dismiss. What am I going to do? Where am I going to go from here? I feel like a failure, disappointed in myself, embarrassed at the same time. I'm like, what am I going to do? And so I mustered up the courage, go to a community college, get my grades up, and I still was dismissed. So even though I got my grades up, I still had to get back into school, back into the university. And so after I got my grades up, I was still on the campus trying to figure things out, trying to, stay connected. And the Lord directed my path into the chancellor's office. Well, the chancellor wasn't there, but the vice chancellor was. And long story short, came in, and thank God that I had a rapport with the vice chancellor, because she, before becoming the vice chancellor, she held another position uh, on campus, and it was at that during that time where I was able to. This was years before, probably about 2 or 3 years before, that I developed and created a relationship with her and a rapport. And when I came in there, she said, "Hey, Randy, you know," and we talked or whatnot. And she said, "What can I do for you?" And what happened was just history after that. What happened after that was just history. I ended up getting back in school and graduating, graduating, and I mean, I failed, but I had to get back at it. I had to get back at it. And so I said all of that to say to you that you're going to fail at it. Even at the very thing that you're pursuing, you're going to fail at it. But you have to determine, okay, after I fail at it, do I keep going? And the answer is yes. Still go after your dream. Still go after your goals. Go after your visions. Whatever you have set out to do, go after that. Go after that. Dust yourself off. Wipe the tears out of your eyes. It's not the end. It's not the end of your life. But you have to keep going. You have to keep going. You owe it to yourself. You don't have to prove nothing to nobody. You don't have to prove it to anybody else. No, you don't. You don't. Stop telling yourself that. You don't have to prove nothing to anybody. Just prove it to yourself. You have to. You have to. You have to do this. Because if you don't do it, who else going to do it? Who else? If you quit now, what's going to happen? Is that dream going to be fulfilled? No. Are you going to fulfill that vision? No. If you quit right now, what is that going to benefit those that's going to come after you? If you fail to impact now, what is that going to do for those that you have been called to impact? There is somebody waiting for you. There is somebody waiting on you to say, yes, I am going to do it. And please don't take this as fluff. I'm not trying to motivate you, but I'm really trying to speak directly into your spirit, speak directly into your heart. I want these words to echo in your mind. And don't allow your past to cripple you from going into your future. Well, Randy, I failed so many times. Randy is hard. Randy is difficult. Randy is shallow. I understand. I know. I'd rather fail forward than to fail backwards. Because you know when your future is ready for you once your past wants you back. Randy, say that again. I will. You know when your future is ready for you once your past wants you back. Failure has become a part of your makeup. But failure does not have to determine who you are. Nope, nope. Stop telling yourself that. Nope, stop telling yourself that. You're not a failure. You are not a failure. You're not a failure. Nope, you're not a failure. Stop telling yourself that. You are an overcomer. You are a successful person. You're just waiting for God to manifest it in your life. You will become successful. Yeah, I know what they said to you. I know what they said about you. I know. I know what they said about you. They said you was never going to amount to be anything. You, hey, they said it about me. They said it about me. They said I was never going to amount to be anything. But I'm not going to prove them wrong. I'm just going to prove it to myself that I'm somebody. I can do it. And you have to encourage yourself. You have to speak over yourself. Because if you garbage, it's this thing called garbage in, garbage out. If you receive garbage in, garbage is going to come out. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so he is, so he become. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So I think negative things in my heart, and I become the negative things that I just thought about. So if I receive what God has called me to be, if I receive who God called me to be, if I receive who God called me to be in my heart, then I become the very thing that I thought about. How all of this relate to business and entrepreneurship? Everything, because a lot of it is mindset. A lot of it is mindset. You can learn all of the tech stuff and things of that nature. You can outsource a lot of your business ventures and things of that nature. I believe that, but a lot of it is mindset. So we have to work on our minds. We have to. We have to. Because if we don't work on our minds, then that's going to be the main disconnection uh, that's going to hinder us from getting everything God has for us. And so we have to grip this fear of failure by the neck and keep going. Fail forward. Fail forward. Failure is a part of my development. Failure is a part of my development. It's a part of my building up. It's going to make me stronger. I know it doesn't feel it. It doesn't feel like it, but that's what it's doing. Use failure as a stepping stone to get you where you need to go. Fail quicker. That's what a lot of entrepreneurs, just imagine a lot of the entrepreneurs that you follow, a lot of the entrepreneurs that you aspire to be like, they have failed at a lot of things and still fail today. They may not say it, they may not show it, but I'm sure. But it's just about how they wrap their minds and how they define failure. Either either they're going to use failure either they're going to use failure for their advantage, or they're going to allow failure to kind of take them down. It's all about perspective. It's all about perspective. And so, in closing, listen, you have to change the way you see failure. You have to change your mindset and how you view failure. And look at it from this perspective. Yes, I'm going to fail. Yes, you're going to fail. You're going to fail at a lot of things. A lot of ideas are not going to come. It may not be this idea, but it may be that idea. You have to keep going. You have to keep going. Someone is counting on you. If you're not counting on yourself, someone is counting on you though. Someone is counting on you. And you quitting, that very person that is counting on you will never receive whatever you've been designed to give them. You have to keep going. Listen, you listen to another episode of the Legacy Inspired podcast. I thank you for joining me today. And remember, failure is not final, it's not fatal, but it's failing to get back up again after you have been knocked down. When life hurts and dreams fade, hope again. Make sure to leave a comment below. What are some things that you're dealing with as it relates to failure? What have you failed at? Leave it in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this podcast. And again, these episodes are going to be building on each other. And I'll see you on the next episode. Grace and peace.